Good morning. The sun is shining through the window so pretty, I thought it would be fun to give you a tour of my kitchen sink window plants. Join me.
Liquid Amber Girl Gardening.
All right, so I'll just do a quick sweep across so you can see. If you haven't watched my videos before, then welcome to the channel. And if you have, you know that my husband and my children and I have just recently moved. And so I have never, in all of our years of marriage, we just celebrated 18 years of being married. We've never had a house that has really nice windowsills for plants ever. And I've always had to use like macrame plant hangers or just tables set really close in front of windows to use natural light for my plants. And I'm so thrilled to have this. It's right above my kitchen sink and I'm really excited. So let me go ahead and start the tour over here. It's Saturday, so my air plants are getting their watering. There are 3 of them in there. And he needs to go in a little bit more, but I'll take care of them, don't worry. They like to, well, our house is kind of dry, so I water them pretty much once a week with a nice soaking. And those are just a little jar with some pretty little stones in it. This is one of my favorite Haworthias. And he got real stretched out in our winter last year. We had kind of just a really low light winter, but you can see at the bottom that he's plumping back up again. And I've been doing his watering with really big soaks, and it's been helping him plump up. So I'm hoping that the leaves are going to continue to plump each time that he gets his water. Back here, okay, let's see. This is a Pilea leaf, and you can see it's got really good roots. And actually, I have never propagated Pileas before because usually, if you've grown them, you know that they have the little offshoots, which that's the easiest way to get a Pilea plant. But when I got my Pilea, when I was moving my Pilea one day to water, it used to be in, here he is. He used to be in my bathroom window in a macrame plant hanger. And I like to water my plants and let the water actually run through and out the bottom, so I didn't want to leave them in the plant hanger, and I was pulling him out of his plant hanger and broke off a leaf. And I was like, no, because he doesn't have all that many leaves. And I was so upset, so I thought, well, heck, I'm not throwing that away. So I stuck it in water in this glass, and it was probably, I don't know, 4-5 weeks before I saw anything. But I knew that something was going to happen, because if it wasn't going to propagate, then the leaf would have shriveled and died. And it didn't. It just stayed just exactly like it is. And I thought, well, heck, I am not throwing that thing away. And then this is probably 8 weeks out, and I've got some really good root growth. I'm just so scared to change it from water culture into soil. So I'm gonna let it get even more. And if any of you have some advice for me on how to, because like I said, I didn't even know that you could propagate a Pilea plant from a leaf. I had no idea that that could happen. So I was really just taking a chance. And if you have advice for me on how to make that a successful transition, I would love to hear it. So please comment below. This is probably one of my favorite epiphytes. This is rickrack cactus. And I've done a video on their care before, and I just keep cutting off pieces, and then, and then they just will put out these shoots. I have this is a baby back here that just took off about 2 weeks ago or so, and they just grow up and they get this fantastic shape. I love the shape of this plant. I'm actually starting to be completely obsessed with all things epiphytes, and that's most of what you'll see on this windowsill actually. So anyway, this is just like most epiphytes. This one is a night bloomer. Of course, it's not blooming yet. It doesn't have that much growth on it, but it will soon. I've had it for 2 years, and probably will be getting some blooms within the next, I don't know, it could be another 2 years before he starts doing anything exciting. But the blooms are huge, beautiful, white, fragrant blooms, and they will be in the nighttime. And I can't wait to see it. This is another, and this is one I just found. The pot my son made for me. Not sure what's going on here. They look like maybe some Chinese characters, but I don't know exactly what was going on when he painted this. And it doesn't match my color scheme at all. Do I care? Absolutely not. My son made it for me for Mother's Day, and I love it very dearly. But back on task, this is a Ripsalis. And I liked this when I found it. This is from Groovy Plants Ranch, which is another Ohio grower, and since I'm in Ohio, I thought, well, that's fantastic. And anyway, it has a lot smaller leaves. I mean, if you compare, here's the rickrack kind of getting in his space. The leaves are way smaller, and that's what this plant does. And I like that sometimes the leaves are like this thin, like 2D shape, and sometimes they take on that 3D, like triangular shape, kind of like your Christmas cactus can do. And this actually has really small white blooms when it does. I only have done research on this one. This is brand new to me personally, but he seems to be liking the windowsill really well. And this is my Pilea. And again, the pot doesn't match my color scheme. I like the grays and the kind of, what is that, aquamarine and whites, but it was made for me by my daughter, and I love it very dearly. It will never leave my windowsill. And there's my pretty Pilea. She just got some rainwater spritzed on her, so she's pretty happy. And here is a plant that most people would call night blooming cereus. And as you probably know, if you know this plant at all, there are actually lots of different names for it, and actually I think they are different varieties. And let me tell you what I did. This is a cutting. If you know my channel at all, you know that I work as a vineyard manager, and the owner of the vineyard I work at gave me this cutting. And I bought, I don't know if you can see, but he stretches back here, this big huge leaf. I bought this from Logis. There's a little small leaf also attached to it, but it was a leaf cutting. Man, did I pay a lot of money for it. But it was listed as night blooming cereus, but if you compare the two, you can see that my leaves have a more greenish yellow cast, whereas this is a darker green. So, and it's much larger as well. This leaf, I don't know why. I'm trying to show you this, but there. You can see that it's darker green, and look how huge it is. I mean, that's just one leaf off of that thing. But this is probably a case of being a little bit of a different variety. Like instead of being the Epiphyllum oxypetalum, maybe it's the, oh, I can't remember the other variety. I'll flash it up on the screen if it comes to me. But there are a couple other different varieties that are all known to be night blooming cereus. But anyway, night blooming cereus is, again, just like it sounds, night blooming. It's fantastic, big, like 8-inch across blooms that only last during the nighttime, and as soon as sun comes up, they close back up. And just absolutely beautiful, fragrant. These blooms can be, I think, white or pink, but this one at least I know to be white because I know the owner. That's my husband sneezing in the background. Bless you.
Thank you.
Welcome. And anyway, I know that these will bloom white when it is time for them to start blooming. I've had this cutting for 2 years, and this I just added a few weeks ago actually. So are they going to stay together forever? I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how they do their growing. And you can see this is not very cleverly disguised, but this pot doesn't have any drainage in it. And so something I've been doing with a lot of houseplants is just using a plastic pot inside my pots that don't have drainage. That way it just makes watering a lot easier. I can take them out, I can water them, let the water run through, and then put them right back in the decorative pot that I actually really like. And it keeps your, you know, because this is wood, I don't necessarily want anything too wet sitting on it anyway. That's my pig. This is a cast iron piggy bank that came from my husband's grandfather, actually. He had that, and when he passed away, I just thought it was, I don't know, something about it had some charm, and so he is sitting on the windowsill. Isn't this beautiful? Obviously a Haworthia truncata. I love, love, love my Haworthias. And here's another piggy bank. There, whoops. There he is. I just think, you know, Frenchies are just so cute. And that was a gift from Erin, my husband's Aunt Cindy. I went in her house and I just oohed and awed over how cute it was. And the next thing I knew, she brought it, I think, to church and said, here, you can have this. And he is really, really cute. So he's on my kitchen windowsill with the plants. And then you probably recognize this lovely Sansevieria. He has some pups. I have them facing the other way so they're getting some sunshine. And in our move, oh my, let me get this under control here. In our move, we had a boo-boo. Why is there a screw laying in the pot? Oh, that was because we took down curtain rods. I'll have to get that out when I have a free hand because I don't have one right now. But this little boo-boo happened. And whoever broke it, which no one will fess up to it, but you know, when you have people helping you move, you can't be too sure what all is going to go down when it's all happening. But anyway, he was broken off and I was kind of sad, but he's recovering nicely. Just a really pretty plant, loving the windowsill. So I have something else to show you, so hang on a minute. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. This is a pot that my brother made for me with, I can't remember the material that he used, but it is like a, it's like a concrete, but you can form it almost like Play-Doh or clay. And he made a cute little square planter, no drainage, so it's probably going to end up on the windowsill where we just were. And I just love it. Isn't that so cute? And you guys, I wish you could reach through the screen and feel this. I can't even explain. It is so smooth. It's not even the same feeling as glass. It almost feels like satiny, soft. It is just so much fun. So he's going to start making these, and we all are going to benefit from it. I can't wait. Little pup. So there's one more thing I want to show you all, and that's our yard. So let's look. That's our next door neighbors. We have this gorgeous maple tree. And the person across the street is mowing. And you can hear the cars and all, but you can see the trees. I posted on Instagram, if you follow me, a picture of a deer that was eating over there. This is where my mom lives. It's like a little mother-in-law cottage. Hi, Tilly. Hi, pretty girl. Here's another big, beautiful maple. And don't judge me. Remember, we just moved in 2 weeks ago, but this is what is planted by the porch. Oh, that's right. That's roses growing in almost full shade. So I don't know who planted them, but the poor little babies are trying very, very hard. They're even putting on these tiny little blooms. So obviously I'm going to dig these up and find a new home for them. I'm not sure if that home will be here or if I'll take them out to the vineyard. But either way, these guys are gonna have a new, happier home. And we just have like this, I don't know, they're not railroad ties, but something similar, because of course everything's going up on a slant. So what I would like to do, first of all, is get your advice for some plants that should go here. So this is about 10 o'clock in the morning. You can see there's, sorry, loud vehicle coming. So obnoxious, those loud vehicles, sorry about that. So anyway, I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have like some little stairs built here? I don't know what out of, maybe flagstone or something, and then have nice plantings on both sides, and maybe even stretching out all the way to underneath the tree. But I just wanted to see if you all had some plant suggestions for me, or, oh, there's my potting bench and it's a mess, so don't pay much attention to it. But very, very excited about that. So this is all, it does get a little bit of midday sun, but I would say probably the maximum amount of sun that it gets is like 4 hours, or I don't know. So this is behind the house. There's my kitchen window. And the ground is kind of like tiered. And this is actually a complete garbage tree. I don't know if you know anything about the horrible sumac, but that's what that is. And in this part of Ohio, there are lots of sumac. They're very, very invasive. But look at the trunk on that thing. That is probably like a, I don't know, 22, 23, 24 dBH on that thing. It's got a good trunk on it. And so for right now, it's staying right where it's at. But the opportunity for more plantings is all through this yard. And I basically have a completely blank slate. So please, please, please give me your ideas and suggestions. And I'm gonna look forward to lots of planting videos in the future. I hope you all are having a great weekend. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
We're always on the edge. We fight and make love at the same time. Would you break up just because I told you what I did last night? I recall the times you said you're sorry. I'm still not sure if you told her.